Yo, welcome back. So it's currently Monday. It's about 7:30 in the morning. I'm not going to work with Nick today. So as you would have seen in Nick's video last night, the weekly video that he does each week, he's going for a beard transplant. So I think he's got to be up there in Manchester for 8 o'clock, I think. So that's what Nick's doing this week. He's having a beard transplant. So fingers crossed that all goes well and doesn't hurt too much. So yeah, that's what Nick's doing. So I'm just jobbing around, doing a few little jobs. All of today, I'm just going over to Utoxa, that big job we're on, finishing off some odds and sods, like little jobs. So I'm more on competence to go and do that. So what we've got there to do is label up some data cables, test each end to make sure all 8 pairs are terminated correctly. Then we've got to move a wall light up because the customer wants to put a fridge freezer in the space where the wall light is now. And then we've also got they've added a towel rail in the bathroom, and they've poked the cable, well, they say they poked it through the wall, but I don't think they have. I've got to drill it through the wall and then cut in a few spur next to a double socket. So there's 3 things to do so far. And there's another thing as well, which I forgot. So I'll just go to the shop, get some materials, and then I'll meet you over there. On the way to the jobs, just so happens to be that there's a Costa on the way, so just grabbed a little Costa, now I'll get back on the road. I'm at the job now, so I'll just run you through what I've been tasked to do for today. So they've left this board up, I was told, so I can feed a cable up and cut a few spur next to the socket. However, realistically, well, I've just measured the tower rail. Where they've put the tower rail is straight on the centre of this wall, so 54 inches it is. I've just measured it and that comes to here. So that, that realistically is not a lot of use as that's in the middle of the wall. And I've not bought any flex because I thought it was just back to back. So that's fun, but I'll just run you through where it is. So in the bathroom, this is the tower rail they've added. Originally it was going to be a plumbed one, but now they've changed it to electric one. So as you can see, that cable is not going to be long enough to go, well, say this is the centre of the wall, to go all the way over there. So yeah, don't know what I'm going to do here. And then the other thing is, look how high this obviously goes through the wall. You don't want this traipsing down and then drilling it through a low level. Or I don't know. I'm a bit stuck really on how to go around that one with making it look good, if you get what I mean. I think what I'm gonna have to do is get this board up, so move all this stuff over, get that whole board up. That's if it will come up, so I don't know how far they pushed them under the skirtings. Now, I'll do that, then I'll have a look, see what's around that area. Maybe I can do it, no, because we need to fuse it down. You can't really do a fuse spur under the floor and it's not accessible, so yeah, I'll take it up and we'll have a look, see what we're working with. Right, I've come to a conclusion. So it's either, well, at first I'll show the way I'm going to do it, which people might shout at me for, but this is the only way I can think, which is the best way. So got a socket there, took it off. This is block wool, so we ain't got a lot of tolerance. And then trying to fish a cable up. So if I wanted to fish a cable up and put the cable straight in the back of this socket, obviously I'd have to damage this painted wall. Then I'd have to fish the cable up for the fuse spur as well, you know, like the flex cable. So there's 2 cables, so a bit more damage. Or what I can do is do a maintenance free join into the 2 cables which feed up to that socket, and then take like, this is a radial anyway, so take like a 2.5 cable off this, 2 here, and then 1 chase up, like a little thin chase with a multi-tool, just to take the flex, well, not even the flex, the 2.5 up to the fuse spur. So the fuse spur would be a little bit lower than these sockets, but my thinking is it would be behind the bed, so it would be covered, still within zones because obviously the cable's coming straight up. The only thing then I'd have to do is cut this board, basically what they've cut here, just cut it up there, and then I can rod between, well, just pass between, and then I'll drill straight through for the tower rail. I've measured it up. So that's 54 off the wall, so this is where it should come through, and it's 30 where I want to drill it through, so that's where it'll come through, the cable. I've drilled through, I used a little bit, just tickled it through, and it's popped through, so yeah, that's my look. It's popped out, however, a lot of people say, why didn't I drill from this side, but I wanted it to be perfect on the other side, because it's all behind the tower rail, and you know what it's like, you want the cable to bend and swoop perfect, and trying to get that measurement perfect, where I've got to chase in a single knockout box here anyway, so there's going to be some excess damage, so a lot of that will be covered up. So what I've done now is I've marked here. Typically I can't do a straight cut as the joist is it goes all twisted in this house, so it goes like that and then it ends here and it's like a double joist, so it starts again like further down. So I'm gonna have to do it with an angle cut. That's why they've done an angle cut there as well. So yeah, I'm gonna cut this board up and then I'm gonna have it up so I can get behind the skirting, hopefully, fingers crossed, without damaging it. Do a bit of angle drilling, fingers crossed, it'll be mint. And then, like I was saying, this single knockout box will cover the majority of that damage. Obviously, you're gonna have a bit of filling around the edges, but typically, because I'm in my car, we don't have any chisels or anything like that to lift the board up. So I've got some old battered screw, well, they're brand new, but they're big screwdrivers that I don't really use that much, so I'm gonna have to try and lift it with this. Finally, the board's up. It was a struggle, as you can see it was glued. So that wasn't very fun, trying to lift it up. But I think there's a few chippage where I've had to put a screwdriver in to lift it up. Obviously if I had the right tools, like a jimmy bar or something like that, you probably won't get those. But it's what it is, realistically. It's like that isn't going to affect the carpet getting laid or nothing like that, because you're going to have underlay on top of this. And then I had to cut another sliver. So this is the bit that was sitting under the skirting. I had to cut that out. And then I could get my blade like this. So I got the big bit out, then I got my blade like this and went under the skirting without damaging the skirting to get that bit out, because obviously I need to get my cable right underneath, up behind the skirting. So we're there. What I've done now is I've poked my cable through. So that's the cable. I've just had a look what grommet I want to use. So I'm going to use the bottom right hand grommet, that one there. I'll put a grommet in it, put that through the pattress, level the pattress off with a level and mark around it, and then I'll chase this pattress in. We're all marked up. I've just got the old multi-tool blade in. I'm going to go for it with that. And then fingers crossed we'll have enough clearance to fit a 25mm in. And then if not, I'll do a little bit of chasing with the chaser. Well, the SDS. And then I can get my hand behind there, so I might be able to get a long drill bit and drill behind all the plaster. That's that chopped out, that's what we're working with. I don't dare do any more at the top, hence I moved it down a bit as I was doing it, as there's a mortar line here, so basically the brick was on the bottom half, so I chiselled that bottom bit of the brick out, and then hopefully I'll be able to get a fix in this top bit of the brick, put some gunk on the bottom bit to hold it in place, and then that'll set off like rock hard. So if I move that around a bit, oh, there's a bit of stuff in there. That does actually sit flush. The top is leaning out a bit, but it's sitting flush or just protruding by a touch. But as you know, the socket fronts, you get that much to cover the bit protruding. But I don't dare go anymore, as I'm trying not to cause loads of damage. So now it's either do a thin channel for the 2.5 cable to come up, or I've got a long drill bit. I'm gonna try and drill like in there down and pop out down here. So yeah, we'll give that a go. So I've just tried drilling, but I can't get the right angle as the drill bit is not very flexible, as you know. And then I've tried feeding the 2.5 up behind, and I've had it up behind with my phone, using the phone trick. So if you put your phone on the video mode with flash on, turn it upside down and poke it up behind, then this is what I can see. So as you can see, that's the skirting and that's the brick there. So there's no room at all for a 2.5 cable to fish up behind there. So realistically, I could spend hours trying to faff with it, but it's just not going to happen, and they've got to patch in bits. So for the sake of it, I'm just going to multi-tool a thin channel, nice neat channel there, and then they can just polyfiller it as it's only a little bit, or bond it in and then polyfiller it and sand it. That's the drill bit through, and as you can see, it's just poked through there, so we have to feed me 2.5 up. So what I'll do next is get me 2.5 in, get it into the box, poke the flex back through, get a grommet on all of it, and then secure my box and all. Well, at least I've had a bit of luck today. Luckily I didn't have, well, luckily I found a silicone gun and a bit of power grab and bonds. So what I'm going to do is, obviously there's not a lot to fix to there. I have put a little red plug up there, which is on a ridiculous angle, but that's all I could get. So then I'm going to put a screw in that just to hold the socket back, and then I'm going to gunk it up with this. You've seen us use this loads of times to stick things in the wall, great at that. So I'm going to gunk up loads in there, push it back, use a screw to hold it back while it sets for, I don't know how long, a couple hours, and then, but I'll put the socket front on that so then I can leave today. And then if there's some filler downstairs, I'll film my mess I've made. And that's it, that's what we're working with. I've gunked up the top with some more power grab and bond to grab between the top and the top of the box. Yes, it's not the prettiest, but you've seen what I'm working with. There isn't a lot I can do here. This is the best I can do. Obviously, it's a fresh painted wall and everything like that, but what the customer wants is what the customer gets at the end of the day. Like, if you tile your bathroom and everything, then decide after you want something, there's going to be a little bit of mess involved, but realistically, this can all be patched in, and you won't even know. Say, give it a couple of days, you won't even know I've been here. So that's good. This cable, I've ran it across to here. It's just looping up there, so I'll connect that in with a maintenance-free joint box using Wagos and a Wago box. However, I'm going to leave that to dry. Right, so I've got the fuse spur, I've left it a bit of time to set. I've just popped the fuse out and changed the fuse to a 3 amp. So that's that. Push that in, that's good to go. Now, on the back, you've got live neutral and earth in, live neutral and earth out. So obviously the flex is the cable going out, so that's protected by the 3 amp fuse. And then the 2.5 cable coming in is obviously on the 20 amp RCBO on the fuse board. So that's the supply cable in, off the upstairs sockets. So you're gonna have 2 lots of lives, 2 lots of neutrals, 2 lots of earths, and they're all gonna be in different terminations, well, apart from the earths, but I'll still double those over. So every single one of these I'll double over, terminating here. We're getting there. So sockets now, well, fuse spurs now terminated. Not done it up too tight. Obviously I don't want to pull the box out the wall, so I've just done it, it's flush, so no one can get their fingers in it, it's safe, do you know what I mean? So that's that done. I've safely isolated, tested the socket, make sure the spur is dead. I've stripped the ends ready for that, got a Wago box and some Wagos. So I'm gonna cut into that, join that together, and then turn the power back on. There we go, maintenance free joint, screwed to the joist, all honky dory, that's all done. That socket's, well, fuse spur was all done. So I'll just run you through into the bathroom and we'll have a look at the finish in there. So, this is the finish I was going for, in line with it, just straight through, nice sweeping bend, straight through, and then I'm going to suggest to the customer, you know, like the plumber uses them to bring his pipes through. I'm going to get, like, say to the customer, get like a little 10mm, 8mm pipe, one of those, and just slide it over and then push it back, and then I'll cover all that excess hole. So I'll just have a little tidy up. That's been me installing a fuse spur once the customer's already painted, decorated, everything like that. So thanks for watching, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye!